All right, so a few errands to run today. The first one is a pretty awesome one. I'm going to get a massage. I've had some aches and pains coming up from the increased volume in the weight room and just being old. So I'm gonna have them work on me a little bit. Just one of those kind of get right things. Make sure the machine's working as it should. Stay tuned up. While I'm running around today, I'm gonna answer some of the Q&A questions. And I'm doing it very safely while I'm driving right now. So kids, don't try this at home. Vlogging, I mean, don't do it. One of the first questions I got was from fellow lightweight competitor Scott Farr, and he talked about how I split my training blocks up going into the off season and as I get into the preseason. And the answer to that is that I pretty strictly adhere to Matt's training lab, shrink lab. I guess one thing I do a little bit different, and it's just really a matter of necessity, is that for like the month of October, I just kind of chill out and relax and play in the gym whenever I want to, just play sports with my kids, be active, just kind of, you can call it restorative if you want. It's a lot of just, you know, low impact or moderate impact and some mobility work here and there. Really, it's a mental break. Just not worry about so much stuff, getting stronger, throwing better. Just relax, be active. But now I am in a high volume phase. I don't do my high volume exactly how it's prescribed in the training lab books, but you know, it's pretty close in spirit, same movements. A little less Olympic lifting, but it's, I mean, you know, there's going to be a pretty decent amount of tonnage. It's moderate weight. It's anywhere from 50 to 70, 75%. And as I said in the previous one, I will throw in some heavier singles once in a while. I'm never really going for, you know, maxes or anything like that, but I'll still throw some heavier work in just so I don't lose the feel. It'll be about strength after that. I'll move into a preseason strength, hopefully about 10 weeks of that. I'm gonna be even closer to like true training lab, strength lab style there. And then after that 10 weeks, it's time to get fast. So I'll translate some of that newfound speed, newfound strength into speed and power. And then really, for me personally, I'll up the Olympic lifting quite a bit. And then since I also do CrossFit, I will throw in some more CrossFit work at that time. That is one thing I do a little bit more uniquely. If I'm healthy enough, I'm going to do the CrossFit Open again, and so that's going to take up, you know, most of February, all the training for that and everything. And then after that, it's just like anybody else. I kind of alternate strength and speed depending on where I am in the game season after that. All right, so B Nadich 13, Brian Nadich, he asks, how important is proficiency in the Olympic lifts to performing in the Highland Games? It's not just being good at the Olympic lifts that's going to carry over. It's developing the qualities that make you good at Olympic lifting will also carry over to Highland Games. So becoming more explosive, becoming more powerful, becoming more technical, those things will help you mentally and physically with the Highland Games. Now, the fact that you can catch a clean better, the fact that you're, lighting change, the fact that you're, you can get under the snatch faster, those things in particular won't purely help you with throwing, but having a training system or having a plan for training that increases your ability to be explosive, to move moderate weight fast, that's going to make you a better thrower. And that happens to include Olympic lifting as part of the training. That's one of the most efficient ways to train that with a barbell. So that's why you see those things paired up so often. All right, got worked pretty good in there. Hurts so good. So I got another question from current lightweight world champion Stefan Dumitrica. He asked, how can I beat you in hammers next season? Let's go with throw hammers a lot more. I don't know, revolutionary, right? Beyond that, man, I would say just having watched your hammers, you are generally very much a good pace thrower. You know how to pace yourself throughout the throw. You need to get a little more violent on the last two winds. You create great separation. You get the hammerhead far away from you. You're nice and long. But on 3 and 4, you know, the final wind and then the release, you got to go, man. You got to take a page out of my book and just get some whiplash going, man. Just go crazy speed on those last two. Try working on that. Try working up to that throughout the off season. Don't start immediately that way, but try adding more speed on the final two winds. That's the best I could say for you personally. Everybody else, just throw hammers, and it really wouldn't be hard to catch me because I'm not that great.
This wide open space, Count Texas.
Stanley993 asks, I'm looking to compete next year for the first time. How do you think I should gear my training? I train like a powerlifter. What should I add in your opinion? Throwing. That's really number one. And number 2 and 3. Throw. Throw the Highland Games events. Find a practice group. Find the implements somewhere. Make your own implements. Throw. I tweeted about this recently, that I started improving rapidly in the Highland Games when I stopped trying to be weight room champion, when I started practicing the sport of throwing, when I got obsessed with throwing and threw 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week. Especially when you're new, you got to throw that kind of volume. It changes as you get more experience. Throw it. That's numbers 1, 2, and 3. 4, 5, maybe those are add some Olympic lifting, add some bounding. Beyond that, more generally, get more athletic. Work on your agility, work on your ability to change positions, to feel your body, have a better kinesthetic sense. Work on those things. Find something that makes you more athletic. Throwing will do that for you also. Okay, Brandon Reed asks about my body weight. Everybody's favorite topic, right? I had talked recently about getting up to around 210, 215 in a previous vlog, and that's still the plan. I'm still putting on weight. I think I'm 208 right now, so I'm almost there. He also asks, what's my plan in terms of season weight? Where am I gonna get down to? I'm not going into it with a solid plan of what I'm gonna weigh by when. He kind of dovetailed that into a question about like, how do I manage my weight for games? Do I do a water cut or anything like that? And the answer is no. My season weight was right at around 200 pounds the entire season. I didn't have to do anything remarkable to make weight. I just don't have a grand plan. You know, if my first games or so, I got to throw as an A, okay, not a big deal. I can go and lose to some better throwers, I guess, if I need to. But if I'm lightweight, I'm lightweight. That's kind of how it goes. I wish there were a more like solid, like, yeah, coming back strong and managing my weight perfectly. No, I'll weigh what I weigh. I turned the camera back on to say this. The idea of cutting water, doing like a drastic cut for a lightweight Highland Games, that's a tough one, man. I mean, I guess like, again, it's not something I've had to do, thankfully. But like for a nationals or for a world championship, okay, yeah, I guess I could see it. But if you're newer to this, don't even sweat that stuff. If you come in at 202, just throw with the regular amateur group. Don't worry about cutting weight. Just be the best you can be when you're new at this. Just like you would in powerlifting. Just don't worry about cutting weight and impacting your performance when you're not a world record setting performer anyway. Okay, Mateus Herrero, hope I'm saying that right, asked what was my background before the Highland Games. So throughout my youth and high school, I was a baseball player. I was a right-handed pitcher. Wasn't very good at it, because obviously, as I've said before, you're not watching a vlog about a successful baseball player. You hungry or are you watching the camera? Which one is it? I discovered the sport of fencing. I discovered I wasn't terrible at it. So I did that through college, won a state championship in that. There's 3 weapons in fencing. There's 3 weapons in fencing, and I was an épée fencer primarily. And then I continued kind of chasing the Olympic dream, trying to get my way through that pipeline for about 10 years. Just got too old, wasn't good enough. The kids that were beating me were 14 years old, so I got out of it. I kind of got into powerlifting, and that I was terrible at that. Led its way into strongman. I competed at middleweight, lightweight, not so great at that. And then I just found Highland Games, and it was another thing I didn't immediately suck at. So I decided to stick with that and roll with it, and it's been good to me. Jessica Von Guinness asked what my shoe size is. I can only assume that's because she wants to buy me a pair of shoes. I am a size 12. In certain athletic shoes, 11 and a half. I'm fickle that way. As a follow-up to the what is my background question, why do baseball and fencing, or do baseball and fencing translate to performance in Highland Games? I think logic would say no, but I think if you inspect a little bit more closely, I think it really does. The mechanics of throwing, whether you're throwing light objects, a 5-ounce baseball, or whether you're throwing a 16-pound stone or a 56-pound weight, there are some mechanics that are universal in the way human beings throw. You know, things like separation, or as they're called in other sports, disassociation, things like that. That feel, I think, has to be there. Like having your body aligned to throw, a line of force while you throw. Those things came a little more naturally because I had learned those as a pitcher. Even though it's a completely different style of throwing, throwing is throwing. Fencing, that helps with the footwork. Footwork is extremely important in fencing, and it is in throwing as well, in Highland Games throwing. So being able to know where my body is in space and how to get my feet under me, I think that's been extremely helpful. And plus, if you watch Olympic fencing, especially at the high level, it's pretty fast. You have to be explosive. You have to be able to move quickly in space. So I think that's something that was not foreign to me. Okay, I think that's going to do it. So thank you for all the questions. I sincerely appreciate it. It's always fun to have people contributing, participating. Yeah, I agree. So thank you. Yeah. So again, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And we'll do this again sometime.